Good day guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. So today I have with me my new, it's not a brand new bike, but to me it's a brand spanking new bike. I have a Honda XR 150L and I've decided to go with this bike just because I've listened to stories, see what it has done, and looked at what people say and how people would rate them, whether they're happy with them, whether they're unhappy with them. So yeah, but I'll give you guys another video or make another video on, but I'm recently busy. I actually am busy with one of those videos which I want to talk about why I decided to sell my big boy TSR. And yeah, but today I only want to talk about this bike. I also want to make another video on the full setup which I got with this bike, which is actually quite cool. And yes, I'll make a video and then so that you guys can watch and then tell me what you think about it. So yeah, when I bought this bike, it had about 8,800 kilometers on it. So yeah, recently been serviced, I think, or as far as I can remember. And yeah, I think so far I'm quite happy, and yeah, quite happy with my decision. But yeah, let's talk more about the bike. I think I also have made a video recently about this bike, and while I was riding it, so I bought it from the same person. I know you guys would remember this bike from a video that I've made previously. So if you have any questions, this is that bike, but I've just made some minor changes to it, just to get it a little bit of a better feeling, so that I can be happy with riding it, and yes, so that I can be happy with riding it, and so that it can suit my length also a little bit better. So this bike has a 150cc or 149cc single cylinder engine, a 12-liter fuel tank, very light on fuel. It actually surprised me because it was a little bit lighter on fuel than my big boy TSR was, which I previously had. So this bike comes standard with a rear rack, but mounted to the rack is the pannier racks which the previous owners has put onto it to make it a little bit more suited for the needs which they wanted to use it for. And that being carrying luggage and yes, do lots of, you know, long trips with it. And that's why I got these. It comes standard with a 19-inch front wheel and with a 17-inch rear wheel. It also has brake setup wise, it has at the rear, it has a drum brake, and up front it has a disc brake. One thing that I has to mention, this provides more than enough stopping power up front, but the rear brake, sometimes it can feel dangerous to drive it. It feels like riding with a bike which has ABS off-road. You can like almost feel like you can push the pedal until it brakes, but it won't lock for some reason. And if it's wet, then you have to be careful, because as soon as it's wet, then there's no brakes. With the rear, no brakes. The TSR that I had previously came standard with a LED headlight, but this one comes standard with a halogen headlight. One difference though is that it has a parking light on the inside, but the TSR didn't have one, and this light you can't turn it off. As soon as it's running, the headlight automatically comes on, and as soon as you switch it off, the headlight goes off. The only thing that you can change is you can change between brights and dims. You can only dim it or bright or put it into brights, but that's as far as it goes. One thing that also came with this bike, it also only had like this small Footpack, but the previous owner had this thing widened, so it has a much wider Footpack, and therefore it stands a lot better. So let's think about a few good things that I like about this bike. It's light on feel. Second of all, it provides enough power for you to carry a load, and with that load, I've realized that whenever I'm traveling at about speeds of 100 kilometers an hour, whenever there's wind from up front, this bike keeps on going. The TSR, although it had a bigger engine, it was a lot heavier, and as soon as you catch some wind, it would automatically go slower. And yes, or if like a truck drives past you, that also automatically brings down your speed. So yeah, that's a few good things I can talk about. And also one thing that I also like about this bike is that the rear sprocket has about 6 nuts, as to where the TSR had about 4 nuts to just the wheel spinning at the rear. But for some reason I was always just literally grinding them off. They were not enough, but this bike has 5, and I believe that I won't ever grind them off. So this is literally just the place that I come to every afternoon, or whenever I feel like not being at home, running away from home, or just feel like having a ride somewhere, just to go sit at a place other than home or at people's houses. I always come here to just sit here, relax, and enjoy the peaceful quietness of whatever's surrounding here. But sure, this is my bike, and hopefully it will do me good, and hopefully we can do loads of adventure rides with this bike. And that's what I aim to do. I aim to do loads of adventure rides, and hopefully, just hopefully, I would be able to make it. So yeah, as of this point, I'm not going to tell you guys anything that is really good about this bike, or that this bike is just bulletproof and has everything. I've learned from my mistakes, because I have done it previously, and on the previous videos I got actually disappointed when I was talking about my big boy TSR, and also told people how good it was at that stage, because it really was. And then at the end I realized that it wasn't as good. As soon as it went over 14,000 kilometers, it started giving me loads of problems, bucket loads full of problems. So, and at the beginning I thought, you know what, it's just general maintenance. But then again, I realized that when I heard what people were saying about these type of bikes, I realized that, yeah, it's actually a little bit too much. But yeah, I've done my best I've actually tried to ignore that and try to keep the bike alive until I couldn't keep it alive anymore, and then I had to sell it. I think it's very difficult actually at the moment to just say what the really bad things about this bike is, but one of those, I have 2 which I can mention now. But as soon as I start riding it and get a little bit more time with it, do longer trips with it, then I'll start to get to know the bike actually really well. But one thing that really put me off was, as soon as the bike, just check how much it goes down under its own weight. The rear suspension is like really very, very, very soft. Just as soon as you push it over, it goes down quite a lot. The second thing that I feel is not good, is this rear brake. It's a little bit from where your foot is on the Footpack. It goes down quite a lot before you could feel the bike starting to slow down. And as I said previously, this brake actually doesn't stop the bike, it only slows it down. I have done a few trails which I've ride, and it handled pretty well on the trails. So I don't have any complaints there. Also, what I want to do is I want to put some knobbly tires onto this bike and then see how it rides trails with full knobbly tires on it. So this bike doesn't come standard with handlebar risers. The previous owner has, almost want to say, equipped this bike with handlebar risers, which is quite a neat and nice thing to have, because it just raises the handlebars up this slightly, that little bit, so that you can be more comfortable while standing. But what I also did was I also moved these handlebars forward, because they can pivot. So I moved them forward. I also moved the handlebars themselves. I moved to a more upright position, so that I can stand and feel a little bit more comfortable. But also take note that when you do that, that actually also changes how the bike handles. I've decided that this is going to be a lady bike. It's going to be a she and not a he, because she's going to be treated with respect. She's not a loud bike. She's a very gentle lady. She's really calm. And yeah, one thing that I have to say about this bike is that she doesn't like to get out of bed in the morning. So you have to choke her, and after a while she becomes warm, so then you can close the choke again. But yeah, that's just one of the things that I think that's not really actually a problem, but yeah, that's just one of the things that if you don't like that, that might just put you off from this bike. But I think it's a Honda thing, where they don't like to get out of bed in the morning or when they're cold. Thanks guys for watching. I hope that you have subscribed to this channel already. If you have not, do consider subscribing. Also, don't forget to leave a like, and also comments are always welcome. I also want to thank all the people who actually is leaving every time when I upload a video. Always leave a comment and also have nice things to say. Thanks for all the motivation. But I also want to thank the people, because I'm still learning. I'm still in the position where I learn to do things. So I'm not really fully learned, but I'm still learning, and I still want to grow, and I still like it when people correct me. And so for all of the all the emails, and some of the people who commented on the videos, who felt that whenever I said something, it just didn't sit right with them and corrected me, for those people, I really also want to say thank you, because if we all are just going to assume that whatever, maybe he'll find his mistake somewhere, or just dislike the video because you feel that this person is doing something that you feel is totally not in line with what you believe. I think that we will have loads of people who would never learn from their mistakes. But I also want to thank the people who is actually helping me to grow, and to grow faster than what I actually would have if people would have just stayed quiet, just watched the video, and just dismissed it after they've watched it, whatever. I've watched the video. But I want to say thank you to those guys as well. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode, and there are loads of more videos coming on the XR. Thanks guys, keep riding and stay safe.